Hey guys, welcome to the Dead Truth Podcast tonight. Welcome, Mr. Dustin and Mr. Casey. How's everything going?
Going along. How about you?
Just kind of making it. So we're gonna make Dustin like our man on the street newsman. So what's going on, Mr. Dustin, this week in Walking Dead news?
Man, you're just going to kind of throw me into the wolves. I'm going to be the official ugliest newscaster in America. Thank you for that. It's my privilege. I'm a big Walking Dead nerd when it comes to facts and, research and news. Man, let's just start with the obvious. I mean, guys, The Walking Dead turned 10 years old this past Halloween. 10 years old, you know? That's epic for any TV show. Absolutely crazy. It doesn't even feel like it's been 10 years. I get these memories on Facebook, and I look back, and it's like, you and Jimmy were here 5 years ago, and I'm like, really 5 years ago? Have I put up with Jimmy that long, or vice versa kind of thing, But, basically, starting with that, guys, I think it needs to be talked about a little bit. I think that, having a 10-year anniversary, and Casey, you and I were talking before the show a little bit about this. Guys, 10 years. Let's get some fan interaction here. Get some comments going on. I'd like to hear some of you guys give some input. But, starting with that, what is The Walking Dead? Casey, let's start with you. What has The Walking Dead taught you in this 10 years? What's kind of like, if somebody said, hey man, I saw you on this podcast, I didn't know what The Walking Dead was, what is that? What's it kind of done for you? You kind of give them like an elevator pitch on it.
Yeah. Elevator pitch for me would be this podcast. You kind of, a lot of Walking Dead fans hear the term Walking Dead family, and I think that best describes the fandom of the show. And whether it's conventions or doing filming locations or just tours, whatever, it's nice to be able to discuss the show with fans. Watch it with other fans, and then as someone who lives in Georgia and gets to go see the stuff where they film, it's pretty cool. Jeff Wagner, I see that hashtag Walking Dead family. You're right. That's what it is for me. Just I've known Jimmy, Dustin. We talked about it last week. I just met you, but it already feels like family. We had such a great time. Yeah, we had such a great time at the camp. I've known Jimmy for 5-6 years now. And just to be able to keep in touch still, and it's like we never lost touch. For 5-6 years now. And just to be able to keep in touch still, and it's like we never lost touch.
We're having technical difficulties, guys.
You're good.
I thought I was being looping.
Yeah,
But that's pretty much it for me. I just love it. I love this experience. I love seeing where they film it, and I love hanging out with you guys. And the camp is my last example of what this show means. What Oscar did, and we talked about last week. He was just another fan, and he started Walking Dead got his art going again, and he started getting back into art. And I want to give actually Oscar a quick plug. I actually bought one of his masks, but he put his artwork on this face mask here.
Yeah, and those things are off the hook, man. They are off the hook.
So just to see what him and Casey did and to do that con, that was really cool, man. That's what it's all about. Spreading the fandom. What about you, Jimmy?
I agree. Couldn't have said it better.
Well, I had a little, when I first started, I was working at school one night, and my wife at the time asked me to come out to kind of watch filming, and I didn't want to go. I was like, no, it's going to be boring. And I went out there and I watched it, And to be honest with you, the scene I watched was Merle and Daryl fighting it out in the arena. And looking back at that night, I mean, there was three of us. I think there was Homer. Homer was there. I know a lot of people don't know Homer, but Homer's been around for a while in the movie stuff. There's been a couple other people, but starting that day, I was a single father. I was married at the time, yes, but I still was kind of single, raising the kids anyway. And to kind of bring me out of my shell compared to what I was, because I was a very, very quiet person. And I think thinking back now, the stronger I am now, meeting Dustin and my friends that I have now, and give me the, I guess, self-esteem and the know-how of, being the man I am today. I think the show changed me in the better. And everybody's like, how can a show do that? Well, first of all, it comes down to the family aspect of it. No matter what point in my life would be in the lowest point or the highest point, the same people were always there for me. And they celebrated in the good points, and they helped me through the bad points. I think Dustin was with me one night at my lowest time in my life. And I can't ever thank him enough for that. At the same time, I look back at it now, I wouldn't change anything for the world. And I don't even care about meeting the celebrities. I could care less, truthfully. It's about y'all. That's why I wanted to give everybody during COVID as something to look forward to. I know Georgia's more relaxed than other states, but you look at Michigan and California, they literally can't go outside. So it was my form of giving back to the fan bases gave so much to me. And I truly love y'all. I want y'all to know that. When I tell y'all I love y'all on my tours or when I see y'all, I truly do. And I think, friends like Dustin and Oscar and Casey and Kevin and Holly and, Lisa Dupree and all those guys, Ren, everybody. I love you. And I love all the new fans. And I just want y'all to enjoy something that I seek enjoyment in. And I thank y'all for coming to watch the podcast. Jeff Wagner, I don't think you've missed a show. I really appreciate it, buddy. But The Walking Dead is more than a TV show. It's my life, truthfully. And it might be, something that it comes around every summer, but to me, it's more than that.
Well said, brother.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of hard for me to follow, and both you guys together, it's hard to follow. But I agree with both of you, and Jimmy, you kind of said something there that I'm going to regurgitate. You said it was about the same people always being there, and when I tell people, Walking Dead is a huge part of my life, and at times has been my life, and people kind of look at you weird and like, well, it's a TV show, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's much more than that. Because they don't see this part of it. They're not that invested into it, or they got invested into it to the point to where that camaraderie is now learning about it. The same people's always been there. That's what I learned from the show. You get to watch a group of people come together on the show that some have commonalities, some don't. Some would be speaking together in a diner if they're reading with each other, much less trying to survive, a plague or an epidemic or, whatever. And these people have become family to each other. And that's very much the same as to the real life Walking Dead family that we have. It only took that commonality of us and our love for the show to come together and prosper and to fellowship. And that's what I love about the show. The reality has given us what the TV show gave the actors, and I think that's why we're so connected to them. That's why we feel like we lost a family member. If Daryl dies or who guys, no, I don't have any inside info that Daryl's going to die. I'm just throwing it out there before you riot and blow up the podcast. But yeah, I think that's what it is. So that's that's absolutely awesome. And a couple more shout outs we've got here. We got Oscar Rodriguez watching with us. Oscar said he wants to get in and play. I don't know what that means. Maybe we can get him a link out here if he wants to come on, or I don't know how the call-in's going with our call-in line. But Oscar, would love to have you on here at any time, brother. tonight's fine or whenever. But, kind of going back to The Walking Dead being 10 years old, and Casey, I'll kind of hop back to you here. What has been like the most meaningful or impactful scene of The Walking Dead to you?
Mine. This is an oldie, but it's stuck with me. But mine was the cliffhanger where Sophia was found. Um, that one hit me because I just totally wasn't expecting it. And I guess it really just hit close to home. Being a father. And what Carol must have been going through. Like I felt that. So just that was just heartbreaking, and that one's really stuck with me through the years.
Yeah, I got you, Mr. Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Tell me about your most impactful scene, or the one scene that just kind of to this day it just kind of like pops up in your mind as the scene or the moment of the show that's like just still gives you goosebumps years later or throughout.
Well, I kind of knew he was going to die, but the whole Herschel scene, my dad died at a young age, and Herschel wasn't young by any means, but watching Maggie and Beth actually watch their dad die in that way, and the governor just not caring. The governor, truthfully, was like one of my favorite characters ever, and he kind of still is. But like just seeing the relentless, you put yourself in those shoes. I mean, how would you feel you seen your dad die?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I think I'm frozen.
I can only.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think I'm froze completely.
No, you're
On my side. You look good on my side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And guys, to me, the Walking Dead has always been about hope. And as crazy as this sounds, kind of going back to earlier, it didn't really matter like what I was going through in my personal life or private life or business life. When The Walking Dead was on, I was always like, hey, no matter what happens here, at least I'm not going through the zombie apocalypse on Sunday. And I could sit there and I could look forward to the show, and it's almost like that my week was going to be better on Sunday. And that's kind of the one thing was the hope aspect. And I think the most impactful thing to me was the moment when everybody reunited, and Rick was coming up there. He hadn't saw Daryl in a while, and everybody was kind of broken to come back together. And then all of a sudden, you see Daryl pull out Rick's Colt Python from behind his back, and he hands it to him. And they just kind of have that look from him. And that's, of course, a firearm or Rick's Colt Python has been a symbol of protection, a symbol of it's going to be okay. I've got you back kind of thing. So that moment for me was the most impactful scene that I saw. It just continues that hope that the show kind of gives you, as a fan and everything. So, and Jimmy did good there. He kind of hopped onto the last question I had personally about the 10 years. And fans, we would love to hear from you guys. If you could kind of chime in here, tell us a little bit, what your favorite scene is. When do you guys kind of watch those? But the last thing I had to talk about as far as the 10-year show was the most impactful death or most meaningful death to you. Of course, Jimmy, you kind of tied in there with yours. So, Casey, who was the one person there on the show that's died that character-wise that's just kind of got you all choked up all this time later?
Oh, I probably have to go back to Abraham. As a reader of the comic, I had I think we all had a feeling Glenn was gonna, get what he was gonna get because of the comic. But then to immediately do that to Abraham, like that was not only was it shocking, but he was such a cool character. He's kind of like a comedy relief, but he's, yeah, I kind of like feel like Abraham. I'm funny when I'm funny, but when it's time to get serious and get down to it, I'm there to get the job done. And so, yeah, I really miss all Abraham's one-liners. And
I did
yeah,
too, man.
so that was such a shocker to me, and sad to see him go.
Yeah, and I always want to like ask if I can ever see him again here, which I'm sure we will. I want to ask him, is that like the one-liners that he's coming up with, or is somebody on the writing team? Because guys, if that's on the writing team, whoever that is, they need a promotion.
Right.
That's some epic one-liners, to come up with, And But no. So yeah, but guys, Walking Dead 10 years. I mean, like I said, I look back, and I hope we have another 10 years. I hope it goes, for 20. But I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, back to the news from your ugliest newscaster on Facebook. So,
hey, one quick, Oscar, if you want to, I sent you the link where you can join us live, buddy. Just saying, throwing it out there.
Sweet.
But for those of you that have kind of had your I miss Rick Grimes, you haven't had your Rick Grimes fixed because he is not. Spoiler alert for those of you, but hopefully everybody's caught up that's watching the podcast, not on the show at the current anyway. Andy Lincoln and The Walking Dead are both AMC's both going to give you a December that you're not going to forget. Andy Lincoln is going to be starring. Actually, Jimmy shared this with us earlier, but I'm still in it for my news part. Andy Lincoln is going to be starring in A Christmas Carol, and it's going to air from December the 12th to the 24th, and he is going to be Ebenezer Scrooge. And I think that's just going to be a very exciting role for him. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to put the link up for you guys where you can go watch it. It's going to be broadcast. I forget exactly how, but it's going to be broadcast. And also, kind of in lieu of that as well, AMC has announced their holiday special that's going to air on December the 13th. It's kind of like a Walking Dead reunion. It's going to be hosted by Chris Hardwick, and you're going to have a special where some of the cast members get together and tell stories, kind of the same thing that we do. It's going to be pretty awesome. So December 12th, you got Andrew Lincoln. Boom, very next night you got your AMC special. So guys, December is going to be a fun month for us.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, on to my most exciting news and the final thing I have for the news segment. And and I've really got to get more into the World Beyond, Walking Dead, the World Beyond. I've missed an episode or so I've got to catch up. But I was trolling the internet, going through the forums and all the groups I belong to, and I saw something. And I only saw it in one place, and then I saw a news article about it. But apparently, it had leaked out that on season 1, episode 10, it had like the list of your cast credits. Okay, like who's going to be in the episode or whatever. And guys, guess whose name was on that list?
Scott, what is his last name? Scutterbucket? Whatever his last name is.
Yeah. Andrew Lincoln.
Yes, Scutterbucket.
On season 1. Episode. For those of you who don't know, that's Andy Lincoln's real name, Andrew Clutterbuck. Andrew Lincoln, I guess, is his stage or acting. Andy Lincoln showed up there. So here's what's awesome about this, right? So he shows up there, season 1, episode 10. I forget the name of the episode. I think it's like It's a New Life or something like that. So it totally ties in to a moment I could see. That would be an episode that Andy Lincoln should come back in or Rick Grimes, because that's an awesome title. So immediately after that was posted, okay, there was this huge break, and one of the I guess writers, producers, is now explicitly denying in an article that he is not going to be there. But how do you, they're only on episode 3 or 4. You're putting stuff out 6 episodes in the. How do you make that kind of mistake? You know what I'm saying? And they refuting this may be right, but I'm just what you guys thought?
You remember back in season 7, I think, Morgan was leaked out on IMDb. You remember that? He actually made it before he came back on the show. Last time we had seen him was in Clear. So I think I can't remember exactly what episode, but it was season 7. That actually got put on IMDb. And I think, who else was on IMDb? I think JDM made it to IMDb before he did to the show either.
Oh, wow.
Jeffrey was on IMDb. So that's kind of where to kind of look for stuff popping up on IMDb when it's not supposed to be there.
Somebody got fired.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What I've got this week for news so far. But like I said, guys, it's going to be a hopping December, and keep your eyes open for episode 10, season 1 of The World Beyond. I mean, you never know what we may see. I don't think things like that happen accidentally.
Well, my question to you and everybody else: are they getting into that show? I kind of find it hard to get into that show. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. I
I
mean, do
agree.
you like that show? I mean, Casey agrees with me. Yeah.
No, I
How do
agree with
y'all
you.
feel on the message board? Do y'all like the show or do y'all dislike the show so far?
You know,
Yeah, I'd
I,
be
I
curious to
like
know.
it. I like it from the perspective that like I know my good friend, Brandon Hardison, went up and worked on it, and of course he's in The Walking Dead as well, and all sorts of fun things. But I kind of watched the first episode on one of those nights that it was kind of like right after The Walking Dead and everything was going on. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, and it's hard for me, really, other than The Walking Dead. I don't think I've ever really been enamored by a show the first episode. Walking Dead just kind of had me, captured in. So I actually have to go back and rewatch all those. So I can't give you a fair assessment, but I can tell you the first episode, it didn't capture me, for what it's worth. But now, anticipating maybe season or episode 10, I'm going to go back and watch them all. You know?
Well, how couldn't you get pulled in by a man that pulls up in a car, walks over to the little girl and shoots her in her face? I mean, everybody was like, "What in the hell?"
I know, man. I was like,
I know. I'm
hey,
surprised that
this is.
made prime time television.
Exactly, man. I was like, "What in the hell am I watching?" But it turned out to be awesome. Like what?
I
Yep.
don't know if the show was to air like this Halloween for the first time, season 1, episode 1. I don't know, that would have been the opening scene,
Right.
with everything. But
Right.
I'm glad it's there. I hate that it happens, but no, I mean, listen, I love kids as much as anybody, but if I got some zombie kids running around, I'm sorry, guys, I got to shoot them in the face too.
Yeah, Addie Miller didn't know what was coming, did she? It's like I just wandering up with her teddy bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
no,
Yep.
and she's
No,
phenomenal.
speaking of the 10 years, and Jimmy, what you said, just that shocking opener. I was at Comic Con. I was at San Diego Comic Con in 2005, July 2005. And Walking Dead came out, that Halloween in 2005. And so, there's not a whole lot of buzz about The Walking Dead. We knew it was coming out. And they actually had, if you guys remember the scene where Rick gets the horse and he comes upon the house and he kind of looks in the window and you've got that family that it looks like they pretty much killed themselves. Like it looked like the dad was on a chair and had a shotgun and blew his head off. They actually had that interior set up at San Diego Comic Con.
Really,
Yeah, so this is before any trailers were out, anything like that. And so when I saw that set and just the attention to detail and just, everything just looked used and old, um, that's what kind of drew me in. Like,
You was
wow,
that?
got to
That
see.
had to be 2010 in case. I think that's
I'm
what it
sorry,
was.
you're right.
Yeah.
2010, my bad.
2010. Yeah.
I can't
I'm
do plus.
sorry. I get
No,
in
no, you're right. You're
tangents.
right.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
right.
I don't know. It's like.
I said Daryl Dog. He's
No, you're
driving
right.
me a lot.
I was thinking, I'm like,
Daryl
what the hell?
Dog, do you know something? Do you have something? I don't. I promise it's good.
That's
No,
all
you're right.
good. It's
It
all
was
good.
2010. It was 2010. I'm sorry. But yeah, just when I saw that set, it was cool. Fun fact, I also met Chris Hardwick that day. Long before he was associated with The Walking Dead and Talking Dead. Um, I actually ran into him because he was there. I don't know if you guys remember a game channel called G4. He
Yeah.
was one.
Yeah.
He was one of the hosts for there, and I went to their booth, and he was there, and got a selfie with him.
Man,
So
Chris has always been a great guy ever since get go, man. I mean, there's not ever been a situation I walked up on that man. He ain't been good to the
exactly
person he's
same
next to.
here.
He's good dude, man.
Same.
So, Mr. Casey, what are you looking forward to with all these new episodes of this new show? Or since you're not really excited, what do you? Yeah,
Well, I'm not excited, but I mean, I am watching it. I'm not, watching it necessarily Sunday night, but we're definitely DVRing it every weekend. I'm just interested in the Three Rings. Just I want to know more about that because obviously, that's the Three Rings was a helicopter that picked up Rick. So it'd be nice to see if that explains anything. Uh, it's confusing because I don't know if anybody is watching the show. From what I understand, the World Beyond takes place in the future. a few years down the road, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how it's going to line up.
Well, there goes my whole thing. I was hoping in episode 10, Miss Shona grab Rick, throw his ass back in Walking Dead. That'd been awesome.
Right. I don't know. I mean, The Walking Dead that last season took a time jump as well. So maybe they are lining up more than we're thinking.
And it kind of goes back to what we said last time, last week. I mean, think about this for a second. If we just use some deductive reasoning here, okay? Yes, Jimmy, I'm having a nerdy moment, right? So how can you not bring Rick Grimes back to The Walking Dead to end it? Then you've got another show out here that's focused on these rings the whole time, and now you got this show. I mean, he's got to show up somewhere, okay? And I'm sorry, I just don't think he can just show up in the movies. I mean, you can't have this show over here, and then now you got a movie that's up here. To me, somewhere this triangle has to be completed, okay? And because that's a lot of story to tell in a 2-hour movie, okay?
Yep.
But think about what you just said. This person, this person, this person. There's your triangle right there. Three different stories.
But I'm holding out hope that he comes back to The Walking Dead. Damn it, okay?
Well, I mean, we hoping Miss Sean beats the shit out of him and takes him back. I know.
You remember me on the couch in the chair when they announced he was going off the show. I will show up tomorrow and bring my bottle of juice.
Hey, Casey, I kid you not. The day Andrew Lincoln we got news on that. Dustin was with me. By the end of the night, he was drunk on my couch. He went to the liquor store and got towed the fuck up. And I'm not talking about a little bit. I literally had to wipe the drool off the man off my couch.
Hold on. Before we have the fans calling Alcoholics Anonymous on me. First of all, I don't really drink. This is actually ginger ale, I promise. Now, secondly, I had bought a bottle of alcohol for a good friend of ours. It's a celebratory thing and a thank you. An hour after getting there, Jimmy's like, "Did you hear what happened?" Well, no, Jimmy, I'm in the car driving down to Georgia to see you. I, don't know what happened. That's back when Jimmy was the news guy and read the news facts. Well, Andrew Lincoln ain't going to be on the show no more. What? And it was just literally announced. So I had to take the bottle of alcohol and open it to get through that evening. Okay, I just had to. And yes, Jimmy did wipe the drool off my face, but that's.
I did. I mean, last week's episode, you promised to bite my nuts. I'm still waiting for that too.
I haven't made it. I'll eat 2 bottles of alcohol for that. Everybody was starting to go fund me for some alcohol for my Jimmy's private.
That's gonna need a lot more alcohol than that.
So, let's find it. Let's talk about the triangle. Well, let's talk about the other missing piece here for a second. We got the one show we're not that excited about. Jimmy, I already know what you're going to say, and you're improving, you're getting better. But let's jump on a different course here. How many of you guys are watching Fear the Walking Dead? I mean, how many are you all seeing what's going on there and what's getting tied in? And Jimmy, I would start with you here, but you're playing.
You have a question down there, by the way, Becker. One of the fans asked you a question. Yes, sir.
I think we're kind of touching on that. Andrew Lincoln doing the spinoffs.
Yeah,
I think Baker thinks he wouldn't be shocked if Andrew Lincoln shows up in the World Beyond.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get right ahead, man.
I'll be the first one. If I see him in Sonoya when I'm around, I will be the first one on here telling everybody about it. I'll be honest with you though. I hadn't seen him. Last time I seen Andrew Lincoln in town when I was actually there, I was driving to Flash Foods one day, and he was at the gas station across from us. And he looked across the street. He looked back, and he had a fan come over to him, and he jetted it out. That's the last time I seen it.
Okay. Well, if you see him, remember, I still need one more autograph. So
I'll be sure to take him, throw him in the trunk, and take him down to your house. I'll be sure to do that.
That's right. Keep him busy for 3 hours. I'll be there.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, our question there is from Victoria Barker. And Victoria, thank you for the question. And she asked, do you think Andrew Lincoln will do the spinoffs? Okay, so I'm always the most complicated person to ask a question to because I'm long-winded, so I'll try to make it
short. It's going to take like 2 years to answer this question, by the way.
I promise. As far as spinoffs, and I don't know if you're asking about the movies specifically or the shows, I think he's going to do both. I think in some way he has to do both But then I'm confused as well because while we were down at the camp, we all learned something that we didn't even talk about last week, and it didn't enter my mind until just now from Victoria's question. But they talked about how that they had just renewed they're going to film for 18 months. And I heard this. I don't know where I heard this at. Steve Tipton, I think, was with me. And Steve, if you remember where, put it in the chat. But we were filming for 18. Guys, that's a lot of filming. Okay, 18 months. I don't know if that meant they were going to do it straight or whatever. But yeah, I would like to see Andy Lincoln in the spinoffs. Do I think so? Yes. I think he has to show up in one of these TV shows. I think there has to be that cliffhanger moment to get you to the movie theater. Because think about it. The Walking Dead thrives on cliffhangers. How many times have they done it to us? Why would you not even take the last 30 seconds of the last episode of the TV show and boom, here's Andy Lincoln. And then your movie comes out 2 years later. You know, I mean, it's going to be, remember when they did it with Negan and who Negan killed? That's all we talked about. That's all thousands of people talked about forever. You know, I mean, we couldn't go anywhere. People were asking me and Jenny at the gas station and grocery store, who you think Negan killed? And there were theories. People were like drawing X's and lines and rewinding it, and you know. So yeah, I think he's going to show back.
Yeah, I remember that year. People were like, they would take my tour, and like they would literally sit there and ask me the question the whole freaking tour, and I'm like, look, I don't know no more than you do. I was like, you know, it is what it is. Of course, we heard little stories. I think the biggest story was coming out of the studio was they killed everybody, and that was like they killed because they were literally doing that because in case it got out. Did I eventually learn that Abraham and Glenn was going to die before it hit air? Yes, I did. By the way, Chris Tillman, what's up, man? But anyway, yeah, we hear a lot of stuff, and some of it's true and some of it's fake.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure.
I never got so cracked up, man. I saw it. I wish I could find it on YouTube. I totally put it in the group, but this guy had like his whole family like go get on their knees out in the yard. And he had them like, and he was going through it, and they had, I don't know. That sounds like something I would do.
The Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
I heard stories about people taking like pictures of the actual scene and lining them up to where he swung that bat and trying to match it up. And it got a little cray. I admit it. Was I one of them? No, I wasn't. I think I did help Baker try to figure it out one day, but you know that was about 5 hours of my life I'll never get back.
I had it drew on napkins, a pizza box. Wow. If I could have drew it on the jug of milk, I'd have drew it there.
I only went through like 3 weeks of counseling after, but it kind of worked out, I guess.
That is funny.
You know, but what would that do? What kind of rejuvenation would that give the fans to end on? I do not want it to end on a cliffhanger. I hate cliffhangers.
To be honest with you, this is my point of view. It's got to be a good cliffhanger like the Negan one instead of a bad cliffhanger like the Glenn one. Because that Glenn one, when he fell off that dumpster, was the stupidest thing ever.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, I think that killed some of the fan base. I do. I think that was the start of it.
I think that was just jumping the shark moment right there.
Yeah, you remember those, Jimmy? Right after that, I think we were in Noonan Walmart. We were walking through, and didn't they have like somebody took like the Christmas stockings and put Glenn as alive or something? Like they had like the initials on the Christmas stockings. They spelled it out. And I was like, we got to get a picture of this.
Yeah, it was a little weird, and then they were making little toys of Glenn with the bugged out eye and everything, and it was after that actually happened, and it was just kind of weird. I remember the funniest thing after Glenn got his head beat in was I think I was looking at Halloween. It was like somebody took a pumpkin and made it where another little pumpkin was coming out of his eyeball or something. It was kind of funny.
Jimmy apparently plays on the dark web a lot, Casey. That's what we're learning. That's why his camera went out a few minutes ago.
That's right. I gotta do what I do.
But yeah. So no, thank you for the question, Miss Victoria. I appreciate it.
Anybody else got any other questions? Our phone lines are down tonight, so anything y'all want to ask, just kind of put it down in the thing. We'll go over it. We need to plan an event pretty soon in Sonoya. Just kind of get everybody together before the actual filming starts in February, where it ends and starts back. We need to have a Walking Dead party, more or less. Don't have to be a convention. Just get where all the fans kind of meet and greet. We can be a part of that if we want to. But I think it'll be kind of fun. What do y'all think?
I think we need to do meetups. Maybe every 3 months, 4 months. Which we know people can't get from that far away, but having something just to kind of keep us all coming together. Because like I said, even when they cancel the show, I'm going to be running around reenacting the scenes for the next 15 years. So
that's right.
I'm going to be down there. But no. Listen, you skipped over my Fear the Walking Dead here. Because you're not interested in it.
I'm very much.
I'm behind on that show.
I got notes. Look, I got notes, people. Jimmy's skipping over this right here. Jimmy's going to the party.
Right. I'm sorry about your notes. Okay. Let me say something though. Let me say something. The reason why I didn't watch Fear for so long is because I did tours and didn't want to get it confused. I will go back starting this week, and yes, I didn't read the comic book for the same damn reason.
How you going to get confused about doing a tour in Georgia when they're filming Fear the Walking Dead in Texas?
Because the two storylines will get me confused. I get confused very easily. It's like Baker in the middle of a baseball field. He gets lost.
Listen, he gets lost in the stadium, and Jimmy won't let it go. Listen, here's all you need to know.
3 damn times. 3. Not 1, 3.
Maybe twice. I'll go with 2. I'll meet you in the middle. But listen, all you got to know, we're tying in The Walking Dead to these other shows and spinoff. Morgan, our ultimate survivalist, who does not get enough credit, who has survived from day 1, season 1, episode 1, still alive, forgotten about, I think, a little bit, because he's in Fear the Walking Dead. He is kicking ass over here in this other show. He done got rid. No spoiler. Spoiler alert! If you haven't saw it, Jimmy Casey, you're stuck with hearing it. And it's your own damn fault for not watching the show. So you're
You're good.
Listen, he has gotten rid of his bow staff. He's now carrying like some kind of double, single-bladed axe that it just cuts you in half if it touches you. The thing can breathe on you and just cut you in half. Okay. He got a dog. He's driving a big truck now. He's dressing like a cowboy. And he's carrying like what looks to be some kind of hatchet that had a love child with Lucille. And he's beating the hell out of everybody with it. He's a badass. Okay. That's what you got to know that you're missing in Fear the Walking Dead right now. Okay. That's what you're missing. And they're tying it back in more to The Walking Dead because Dwight, outcast from Negan's group and he kind of sent on his road by Daryl, has been reunited with his love, Sherry, who I just kind of wrote off and thought was dead, and he's looked for. They're just trying to get some filler content to make Dwight's transition go over. But guys, he reunited with her. So how much more of a storyline now is it going to tie us back into The Walking Dead? And actually, that's what I thought these shows couldn't do, and that's why unfortunately, I was pissed off about it. I was like, hey, you're going to have this, how are you going to tie it into the main thing, Hey, you can tie all these brothers and sister shows into the mama child or whatever it is. And they're starting to do that a little bit. So I might redact what I said earlier, that I was upset about it. But anyway, so there's my Fear the Walking Dead moment. You're missing it. You need to watch the damn thing. That's all I'm saying.
I promise I will start making a dent in it.
Somebody in my chat that I keep talking, somebody in the comments tell these guys how good Fear the Walking Dead is. I don't want to be the only one.
I've been reading the comments. They said it's actually pretty good now. Finally, is what
I am seeing some comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, Oscar said he will be in sometime soon. He didn't give me an exact date. He said he wants to come on though, so we've got to work that out.
That'd be great.
We got to pin our boy Oscar down. Oscar is he's the legend. Listen, so we got a couple more questions here to throw in. Is that okay with you guys?
Man, by all means. I mean, you roll tonight.
Yeah. So I got Victoria Barker. You made me the honorary newscaster for tonight. I got to steal a little bit.
You are, man. You are. Go ahead.
But, I don't mean to. I really don't mean to. But Victoria Barker, I'm gonna let you guys answer since I have talked too much. What tale would you like to be told in the spinoff tales of The Walking Dead? Like, what would you like? I guess what she's asking there is, what's something you would like to see? Which, to me, the obvious is tie the damn thing back into Rick Grimes and The Walking Dead. That's my ultimate thing. Is there anything else that you guys would like to see there with that?
Well, I'm gonna let Casey answer it, and then I'll shock everybody. Go ahead.
Okay. I I like to see origin things. I like to see maybe like when the prison, how that went down and everybody turned. Um, so I'm more of a just how we got there, Um, and then this isn't directly answer the question, but kind of what Baker's saying, The Walking Dead, I think covers how our survivors are handling the world. It's kind of the apocalypse has been a few years. So it's how they handle that situation. And then the fear of the Walking Dead, right, was kind of the origin, kind of when the world first started turning, and they're trying to catch up with the Walking Dead. Yep. And then you got World Beyond, right, which is the future. So they've got like more communities. They've got a more hold on, how to kill the zombies. They've got newer weapons. I like those little poles they got with little switchblades on the end. So that's pretty cool. And I love those machine guns that the what they call them, the soldiers have, with like the pitchfork on the end. So you know that's the only thing I can think of. What do you got, Jimmy?
I'm gonna say this. What's up, Christy Stanford? Good to see you on here tonight. Jamie Thompson, I love you. Anybody wants to go out to Esco Feed Mill and see all that, get in touch with us. Give you a tour through Jamie Thompson. Just get in touch with her. All right. Before I get all the fangirls in uproar, I'm gonna say it like this: the new Daryl and Carol show, I'm actually kind of excited about it. I'm not gonna lie about it. I kind of either want Carol and Daryl to run away in lust and happiness and do all these little kinky shit, or I want Daryl to actually come out as gay and ride that homo flag all the way in. That's what I want to see happen. I want to see Daryl his natural habitat.
But talking about, listen, you're gonna get the girls, tore up again, and my phone's gonna be going off all night. Jimmy talking about Daryl.
My whole thing about Daryl is, yes, he's never been with a woman. Why not? Why? Give me a reason. I want to know.
This joke in the streets of Casey. Do you even know the story?
No, I haven't heard this one.
Okay, this started as a damn joke in the streets of Sonoy. Okay, we're sitting there with our friends who love Daryl to the extent that they will see him in public on a Thursday and Friday, and then go pay money to see him on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, they love him that much. Jimmy's over here by himself, kind of a little corner. We're all over there talking. Jimmy comes up out of nowhere and he's like, "Hey, y'all excited to go see Daryl, but hey, Daryl even likes girls." And he goes off on this tangent, takes them down this path of the rabbit hole and Alice in the Wonderland. Okay, he's got them so tore up. Like they're not even. I'm taking some of them back home. They're not even talking to me. Your friend said this about Daryl. Okay.
Yeah, I literally went off on a big tangent that night. They were shocked. But I honestly believe if he's gay, it's okay. Let him come out to what he is. It's fine. But don't sit here and play with that. With the fan base, all right, the fan base don't know what he is. Everybody else Walking Dead has had somebody except for Daryl. And I've always been curious because they hinted around to it. He might be gay. And if he is, let's bring that shit out. Either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, if he is, if he ain't, but my whole thing about it is let him be his character and let him do what he's got to do. I don't see a damn thing wrong with it if he is. It will break all the fangirls' hearts. Is it funny to me that would happen?
I see nothing wrong with it either, except when you bring it out in the streets of Sonoy and you do it intentionally to get it aggravated.
All right. Well, let me say it like this, Casey. Dustin had a crush on one of these girls. I'm not going to say which one it was, but that's why I did it. It tore this girl up so bad.
Oh, no.
She literally wouldn't talk to me for like, a year almost?
And she was forced to talk to me more, right? And actually was going to on me more because she would be like out of the blue at random. Can you still believe, about 2 months later, right? Do you still believe what Jimmy said about Daryl? I can't believe he said that about that woman. But they took it personal, right? It was like, it wasn't about Daryl, it was about Norman. I'm like, no, listen, it was about Daryl, the character. There's a difference. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, but Jimmy, I mean, he kind of was a good wingman in that moment, you know. But the thing is, most wingmen case, he tell you what they're doing when they do it in that moment. Jimmy wait till like 6 months later and like, oh yeah, by the way, what I was doing back here then. Jimmy Littlefield can't hold nothing in for 6 months.
Yeah, that'd have been nice to know.
Pretend
Hey, that was almost like the infamous bottle of Fireball that came up missing. We weren't going to talk about that story on here. I am not talking about the Fireball story on here. I can't do it.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, what do you think about
I'm
everything, Casey? Do you think Daryl's gay?
I mean, I don't know.
Casey, save your life right here.
Right.
Podcast thanks. The girl fans are going to riot. They're going to cancel the damn thing. Listen, you have the right as a U.S. citizen to plead the Fifth Amendment. I plead it right now. I'm just telling you.
Plead the Fifth. I will say I am looking forward to the spinoff, you know, with Daryl Carroll. But one of the things though I'm disappointed in is why did AMC announce it? Because to me it negates any suspense with Carroll and Daryl on the show now. You know, so if they're ever in a pickle, we know they're gonna live if they're gonna be in the spinoff. So that's my only complaint. Like, it'd be nice to not
I
know.
totally agree with that. I do. I totally agree with that. I think, you know, that could have been the end of the show, and because they announced, you know, with Daryl's death, because they announced that, automatically know he's gonna live.
Right.
And it did take away from it. I totally agree.
I'm gonna play Jimmy Littlefield here for a minute. Or what could happen? Kind of like that show Big Brother. They have like the Big Brother After Dark. They could do like the Daryl Carroll thing, and they could like do flashbacks and show what really happened after hours up there at the battered wives and children's home that they were locked in. She wasn't just reading the damn Cosmo all night. They could show a scene.
He might read Cosmo Carroll. I don't know what he does. They're girlfriends. They best friends.
They could do that. I agree with Casey.
Yeah.
I wish they wouldn't have announced that, because I kind of thought they'd do something warped and kill Daryl the last episode or something, and
right,
and devastated. But so I don't know.
Oh, by the way, just to let everybody know, I'm just totally playing with the Daryl thing. I have thought his character is gay. I have thought it for years, but I rarely ever speak on it. But I think it's funny to get Dustin stirred up with it. Just say it.
You did it in public. I mean, you don't understand. This was back in the highlight, Casey. If Norman Reed, there could have been a Jeep 2 miles away, or somebody could have started a motorcycle in the whole town of Sonoy at one end of the street, and they were running down the street.
Mm-hmm.
It's Daryl.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand.
Jimmy right out in the middle of the town and just starts a cat fight. There's like 40 people out there.
Well, I used to fuck with people bad, Casey. You have no idea. They would be a moped riding down the street, and I'd say that's Norman Reedus, and they'd freak the fuck out. It was hilarious, man.
Because we did one of the after party shows. You know, the season finale. You know, after party show, and they would do it in Atlanta. Yeah. And just, you know, and those are pretty secretive, but just to see the crowd out for that, and yeah, any car that drove by, yeah, is it Daryl? Is it Rick? So I've seen the craziness firsthand.
Let's face it, most of those crazy people was us doing the rap parties. I'm sorry, there was like a group full of us. It's like our own damn friends.
Those rap parties are fun.
You're damn right.
We got to go to the one this year. We got to go to the one this year. But, you know, and the funny thing is, Jimmy, I'm going to tell our secret too, Casey, because, you know, I miss hanging out with you again. If Jimmy would have called me on that year, like we talked about last time, we could have hung out more.
That's right.
Jimmy and I used to have little walkie-talkies, right? And I had a Jeep at the time, okay? And so I would intentionally, like, drive my Jeep around, like, you know, Sophia's church or wherever they were filming, whatever it was. And Jimmy would know when I was coming. I think that's Norman leaving set, you know, he'd already know I was coming, and they start flocking out in the street and everything. I just kind of waved by and waved. We were kind of harassing the people, but I'm sure they enjoyed it.
That's funny.
Hey, I remember back in the day, Kevin taught us how to do the mics, so like we could tap into the Walking Dead
mics and stuff. We could hear everything was going on set and everything. That was just
They
freaking
still
funny.
filming there, Jimmy. We still got to do
They
that.
can't. They can't. Nobody can do that. You really have to hack into it. That's hard, dude.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to film.
That's hard. It's hard, dude.
Jimmy giving it away. I know it's hard. I got a year left to enjoy that, Jimmy. So,
I'm just saying.
Kevin's on. Kevin's got the last 30 seconds of the podcast. He's like, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. So, Jimmy there, you get kicked off. Dustin, in case you should. Jimmy got fired on accident. We started the show, but Jimmy got fired on accident. No, it was fun. We didn't do it. We didn't break any rules, people. We listened, you know, and it was kind of fun because we learned stuff. Everybody, Andy Lincoln had a code name. His name was like Godzilla. Talking about Godzilla, you know, being on set. Godzilla has
I thought that was the name of your cod, Dustin. I didn't know his name Andy Lincoln. I'm sorry.
This show went from PG-13 to like R-rated in one episode.
It wasn't even R-rated, man. What are you talking about? That's all.
Yeah, we have to put Kevin. You got to put up like a rating or warning at the bottom. First 3 minutes the show's gonna get started. So I don't know. No, you know, seriously, guys, in kind of roundabout way, 10 years. I mean, I honestly think they could stop the show tonight, and we could spend how many ever podcasts once a week. It would take us years just to go through. If we went back to the beginning and talked about everything and the episodes and the memories and stuff, it'd take us years to. You know?
Oh yeah.
So
that's what's about. Think about this. I met you in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't 5 years. Look how long that is. That is crazy.
Was it 13? Good.
2013 is the first time I ever met you. Because I was in Grantville to 2014.
Okay.
I left there and went to Harrelson. But yeah, I met you back then, and I remember you and Wayne. The other guy's name was Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne.
You and Wayne used to come up and hang out, and you want me to talk about that thing y'all working on or not?
Oh, not yet. Yeah, I'm just still working on that one.
I got you.
I just want to know, did it take me a year to call you like it did me? Or did he do that soon?
Will it make you mad if the answer is no?
A year.
Oh, man.
Hey, man, you know, I'm here with you now. It's been, what, 5.5 years, 6 years?
That's awesome.
I literally have, true story, I literally have 2 private messages from 2 of the people that were on the street corner in Sonoy case. It's true. I'll send them to you in a minute. You can really bring that up again after all these years. We still love Daryl just as much. Tell him to hush.
You know what? Girls, I love you. It was purely on fun. I didn't mean anything by it. Honestly, I did. And that's why I'm bringing it up tonight. It's just pure fun.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have fun.
All right, guys. We were supposed to have Moses in here tonight. He kind of had some other stuff going on. He couldn't make it. He's planning next week. If he doesn't make it next week, we're just going to have someone else in this place.
I'm excited. I'm excited about Oscar wanting to be on too. That's
thanks.
Big
we
time
might
guy.
just do Oscar instead. Yeah.
And we'll give you a notice. We'll kind of let you know a couple of days in advance, and we'll share it and get it out there to you because, you know, Oscar has actually. We're going to be doing a giveaway to support Oscar and his awesome art. He has actually sent me something to give away to a fan, and we're going to be announcing that here before too long. So, yeah. So either way.
Anything to support the camp and Oscar, I'm all for it.
Yep.
And I appreciate you forgiving me, sweetheart. I see you in the chat, so I appreciate it. I'm just playing it in the day. Baker knows it because he gets all. If you look at Baker when I mention it, it's like his body shivers. He gets scared he's gonna get text what it is.
I was traumatized. I really thought I was going to get mauled by people in the streets of Sonoy, and it wasn't zombies. And then Jimmy said he was off. And everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, what? They're like, he's your friend. I'm like, okay.
You know how many times a week I get that he's your friend? You got it once. I get it every time you come down.
That's expected though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I can be me one time. It's okay.
And Victoria Barker asked too, guys. Yeah, our podcast is once a week. Victoria, we just added Casey in, who's absolutely awesome. That's his second podcast. Jimmy started it. I kind of caught Jimmy's coattails, and now Casey's riding like I am. But we every Monday at 9, and hopefully it'll be all three of us. But sometimes one of us can't make it or is late. That might may or may not be me. But I'm doing better.
But what you see is what you get. This is the show from here on
That's
out.
right.
I love these guys. I just like I said, we're gonna try to grow it. Get some more people on here. We love all y'all. I appreciate y'all coming by and spending time with us. This is about having fun, joking around, kidding with each other. At the end of the day, we're family. Anytime you see us in town, say hey to us. I know Dustin don't get down here very often in case you listen to Valdosta, but you happen to be in Valdosta, say hey to Casey, or you happen to be up in Johnson City or Elizabethton, say hey to Mr. Dustin. He's around there playing constable. You ever seen the movie, what was it, a scary movie? Back in the
Zombieland.
day, Deputy Doofy. That's who he looks like when he's in his outfit.
That's probably a true account if you ask me around here on some occasions.
And
Just
we
think
learned-
that-
You ever seen Zombieland? That theme park is down here in Valdosta, Georgia. So come
oh,
on
yeah,
down.
yeah. They didn't film down there on part 2, did they? I know they filmed up here at the old golf course.
Right.
Maybe for part 2. But
Right.
did they ever come back down there for part 2? I know they
Oh
filmed
no,
it.
not for part 2. No, just the theme park. In the first one, they filmed at Wild Adventures.
Yeah,
down
that was
here in
my.
Valdosta.
And to be honest with you, this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but Zombieland was my first love for a zombie ghost until The Walking Dead came out. Zombieland was the shit. It still kind of is. I like Tallahassee better than I do Daryl. I just gotta throw that out.
Uh-oh.
You start
Look at
another
old
fight.
Dustin, he's squirming again.
Fighting words.
Y'all would have had to been there. Y'all had to been there. And listen, let me say this, guys, and of course, not to be political or anything and bring it into the podcast, but tomorrow, guys, is a big day. But remember this: remember who you are. Remember to love everybody, and remember that all of us are in this family. It doesn't matter who likes who's this or that or whatever. We love everybody. This show has brought us together. It's made us family, and just continue to carry that on. Regardless of anything that happens in this world, remember that this is kind of our own little world here and what brought us here. And try to take that out into the big world. Just continue to love each other.
No doubt.
I 100% agree. When you go cast your ballot tomorrow, we're all one. No matter what side of the picture you lie on, just remember we all got to love each other at the end of the day, like Mr. Baker's saying. Before I sign out, got anything to say, guys?
No, I'm good. This is fun.
Just I love you guys. Please reach out to us if you need anything. We're always here for you. And thank you for coming and joining, being part of our family each week so far. We love and thank you for that. Couldn't do it without you.
If y'all would go on to YouTube, do subscribe, hit the bell, kind of get the YouTube channel kind of growing as well. Share this with your friends, kind of get them involved if they like The Walking Dead as well. If they don't, that's okay. We love them too. They can come along and listen to me cut up with Dustin and Casey every night. Y'all have a good day. Till next time. See you.
Good night, everyone.